Caught fiancé at hotel, help needed.
Me 38 and my fiancée 40 have been together for 4.5 years and have a 20-month-old daughter together. She has a 19-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. So I would say the issues started after our daughter was born. She started complaining that I wasn't giving her enough attention. Being attentive to her. I wasn't pursuing her anymore or taking her out. I tried explaining to her things are different because she have a child which requires a lot of our attention. And that I would try to work on those things. I recall one fight got really bad about a year ago and she told me she wasn't in love with me anymore and that the spark was gone between us and didn't know if it could ever get it back. So anyway, we ended up getting past that and moving on. About 2 months ago we got into a big fight because her older daughter was going for a cyst removal procedure and I didn't call to check up on her throughout the day. And I tried to explain I was extremely busy at work that day and that I couldn't. So she went off on me and how I'm selfish. Narcissistic. A boss and only care about myself. I was honestly caught off guard by it. So I got angry in return and we just stopped talking. She was scheduled to go back to her country the next week to visit her mom and sisters. The whole week went by and we didn't talk or anything. I drove them to the airport and dropped them off and nothing, still didn't talk. She gets there and texts me, we need to talk, and I'm still super angry about the situation and I tell her go fuck yourself and she replied oh wow okay. So she's there for 10 days and I only talk through FaceTime with my daughter. When she would pick up she would just hand the phone to my daughter. So we didn't speak that whole time and she gets back, I go pick them up from the airport. Abs, we're still not talking, very awkward. This is going on 2.5 weeks now, not talking. One day after work, it's the day before Halloween and I get home and she's showering and dressed very revealing and tells me she's going out with friends. I stay home with our daughter and she gets home at 6 a.m. The next day I went off on her. Calling her every name in the book, whore, slut, etc., saying how she could be out till that time. She tell me that we haven't talked in almost 3 weeks and that she basically considers us not together at this point. We eventually sort of make up but didn't really get any real clarity on this, we're not together BS. So anyway, at this point we're talking. Not how we normally would. She's acting sort of cold and distant, but I'm trying to do little things to make her happy. One night after work I calls her and she tells me she's going out to eat with family at a restaurant, so I go there to surprise them. I get there and call and she tells me they changed their minds and went to a different place. So I ask where and she wouldn't tell me. Very strange. My gut at this point tell me something is up, so I order a tracking device and put it in her car. One day after work I call her 4x, she doesn't pick up. She calls me back and I hear an echo in the background like she was in a bathroom. So I ask her why she's calling me from a bathroom when she told me she was getting a massage. That why she couldn't just pick up the phone on the chair, she gives some BS excuse. So then I ask her, I have a feeling something is going on. Can you tell me the truth? And she goes, why, you feel guilty? Are you doing something? And hangs up the phone on me. I checked the GPS on the tracking device and it's right in front of a hotel when she told me she was at a massage parlor. Feeling of rage, betrayal, and just beyond hurt. So I steer driving towards this hotel and get there and see her car parked right in front. I sit and wait for about an hour and finally I see her walking out with a guy. I storm towards them, get in both their faces. God help me how I didn't put my hands on this dude and I cursed her out. The hotel called the cops on me. I was so irate. I was seeing red. I get in my car and drive home. She eventually comes home too. And tries to justify that she's been asking for me to be more attentive. Fun. Going out more passion, and that I didn't give it to her for over a year and that she had enough and that she considered herself single, that I pushed her to that point. So then she confesses that she's been talking to this dude since she went to her country about a month ago. And that he's been going to her job being her food. They went out to lunch. And the night she was out until 6 a.m. She was with him. But get this. She claims they never had sex, all they did was kiss, and that it was more emotional than physical. Like, how stupid does she think I am? And goes, know how much information she's telling me. I'm sure there's much more to it. It's been 2 weeks now and I just feel disgusted at times. I get these vivid imaginations in my head of her fucking him. And I confront her about it and she will not admit to it. She even swore on both her daughters. I'd where to go from here. I'm sure everyone will tell me to just leave, but it's not easy. I 37 male just discovered that my wife 37 female has hotel reservations at a place downtown tonight when I'm supposed to be with my friends. While using my wife's iPad, I saw an email confirmation for a hotel reservation downtown tonight. I am supposed to be hanging out with some friends. I've been having some suspicions lately for other reasons, including a nightie on the laundry after a recent business trip that I've never seen her wear. She kissed me goodbye this morning like usual, but didn't take any luggage or anything. Not even an overnight bag that I noticed. Not certain what to do. Any advice? I've been thinking of leaving work early and hanging out in the lobby/nearby cafe, but I'm not certain it's a good idea. Update. So, I went to the hotel. You may think I'm an idiot. You may think it's a nice ending. To tell the truth, it's not totally over yet, but it's in a good place because at least I can see possible finish lines. I'm going to be vague about some specifics, just to be safe. I left work early and started driving to the hotel. It was well before the scheduled check-in time, and she is not the time to ever skip work. So I figured I'd probably see her in the lobby when she came to check in. I did take the advice about texting her about going to dinner. She responded after a while and said that she was good for dinner, but would be home only a little later than normal as she had an errand to run. The errand was 100% believable and in character, and the extra time was appropriate for the errand. I knew there was no way I would ever get a room number from anyone who worked there. Come on, people. That was never going to happen. But I knew they'd put me through if I asked for her room. The email said the reservation was in her name. I called and they put me right through. I hung up before it rang, though, since I wasn't actually there yet. But that was confirmation that the Reese was real and she was there. Since she was already there in the middle of the day, which, as mentioned, was weird to me since she's too much of a workaholic to not be working. But hey, this whole situation is abnormal. So whatever. I figured they were already fucking and would be done relatively soon, especially if she was going to have dinner and run this errand. I got some coffee and camped out in a good spot in the lobby, and time passed. And passed. And nothing. After about an hour, I said fuck it and called back to the hotel from the lobby and asked for her room again. She answered. When I mentioned it was me, she didn't seem surprised or anything. I asked what she was doing at the hotel. No. The question is, what are you doing here? And she was a bit evasive, but gave me her room number pretty quickly. As soon as she answered, I was picking up my stuff and made for the elevators. Actually, she gave me the floor number pretty fast, but not the room. So I was already on the floor within about 30 seconds of her answering. Then I got the full number. If there was someone trying to sneak out, there was a very small window of about 10 to 15 seconds where we might have crossed in the elevators. The whole time we're talking, me mainly asking what is going on. And she says she came here to work. In a hotel room? Yes. I needed to get away. I go to the room. She's there waiting for me, looking puzzled. You surprised to see me? No. Well, kinda. Honestly, she did seem more bewildered than guilty. So, we go in. And nothing. Just her work computer, up and running and online. And a bunch of work papers. Her planner. A notebook. Spread out on the table and desk. Room service for one on the counter. 1 glass of ice water on the tray. 1 bottle of wine. Partially drunk. 1 glass for the wine. 1 hand towel used in the bathroom. Seat down. No yelling. Either. Some exasperation on her part. Some slight offense that I thought something might be going on. To prove it was just her, she opened up all her bags and showed me everything she brought with her. Workout clothes for the hotel workout center. She's always loved those. Casual clothes for running the errand. She asked what I thought was going on. I told her how suspicious everything looks, which she agreed. Anyway, one part I left out of the description is that we've been having some issues lately. Nothing bad per se, just more the 7-year itch, where we both agree that we can both see and not see ourselves with the other person forever. We talked about that. She talked about how much she needs some alone time, which she hasn't been getting at home these past few months. None of which is new. And there was one day she was having a bad time and this deal came up on email. So she decided to take it and treat herself. But we both talked. We both talked about the issues we have with ourselves and each other. Getting a hotel room so she can be by herself all day while working is exactly in character for the woman I've known these past 10 years. Fucking around is not. Maybe she dodged a bullet and pulled a fast one on me. Maybe not. I don't really care about how others think about that. We're not calling divorce lawyers right now. But we're not planning our 25th anniversary trip either. It honestly could go either way. And I'm okay with that. I told her I'm willing to try. But she needs to be all in. And she needs to think about that. Once we seemed all talked out, I left and let her know that she can come home or stay the night there. I'm okay with either. If she needs space, she needs space. I do not, and never have, had a problem with that. Adults get sick of other people sometimes. I get that way, too. So there we are. We put everything on the table and we're still figuring it out. I'm not going to let people know how that part works out. But I thought I'd provide a little bit of closure for this chapter. One thing I didn't put on the table, though, was how I knew about the hotel. Since she didn't tell anyone she was going to be there. I told her I was magic. I figure it wouldn't hurt to have her thinking about how I knew these things. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy my video, please subscribe and leave like.